Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, I'm going to answer a few important questions with regards to the raid up banner, the raid up recruitment, and the few questions which I think I see the most often. Number one, should I save my gems? Should I use my gems for summons now, or should I save for a better raid up character? So that's question number one. Question number two, should I commit my resources into Vala or spend my resources on the all-hero recruitment? So that's really common as well. I think it's a very valid question. And number three, is Vala a unit worth dumping all my resources into? So these three questions I feel that is really important. So I'm going to answer it in this question based on the different situations, right? Whether or not you're free to play, whether or not you're new to the game, whether or not you're spending a little bit more, and you want to have advantages in like the specific game modes you want to dominate. So first of all, I'm going to start with whether or not you should save your gems. So in the early stages of the game, I'll say spend your gems enough such that you can push through your AFK stages. So AFK stages is really important because the resource gap that you can get, right, is quite big. So for example, somebody who's at maybe level 100, right, compared to somebody who is at level 500, the resource that they get on a day-to-day basis is really significant. So what you want to do is you want to progress consistently on a daily basis, at least I'll say 30-40 levels per day, even if you're a free-to-play player, so they can catch up to the pacing of other players. At the same time, if you're somebody who doesn't really care so much about competing, you're fine with getting less compared to other players, you're more into collecting, then you can save up, right? You can save for your favorite unit. But in most cases, as somebody who genuinely want to play and progress in the game, you should spend enough gems for you to progress. You need characters that are strong enough to push through all these levels and then get more resources out of it. So that's my thought process. I think it's quite general, right? If you play every other game, same thing. The premium resources, it's useless if you save up too much. You want to just use it such that you can get something out of the premium resources. So that's for whether or not you should save up, right? How much should you save up? Then the second question will be, how good is Vala? Whether or not I should put my resources or dedicate all my resources into Vala. So today's video, I won't have a very specific unit review. I'll save the unit review for another series which I have in mind, but I'm still formatting how I want to post my overview of a unit. So I guess it will probably come later. It's an old series that I have on the channel. Those of you guys who follow me since Garden Tales will know it as a How Worthy series, but I kind of want to see how I want to present it in the AFK journey format. So that's that, just a bit of ranting from my side. But for today's discussion itself, I'm just going to talk about Vala's usage, whether or not Vala is good at the different stages of the game. So if you guys have seen my previous tier list, as a general standalone unit, I think Vala is generally really powerful all around in the light bearer comp. So if you do commit to a light bearer team, I'll say she's quite a must. Like, she's quite important in carrying the team. She's quite important in terms of dealing damage and pushing contents because she's one of the more elusive, one of the highest damage burst unit that can snipe off enemies really easily. So that's for Vala's case. And the other thing about Vala is that in the late game, I think she's still one of the more used light bearer unit. Like, you can use her in Dream Realm, in specific bosses. You can use her as a secondary damage dealer if you have her invested enough. I think her damage output is pretty optimal. And in terms of arena, you can also use Vala. Like, I do get attacked a lot by Valas. So Vala is a unit that is quite good offensively. Like, her mechanics basically works better in an offensive manner than a defensive manner, but you can definitely use her in the defensive teams as well if you're able to build around her. So that's for Vala's case in terms of late game arena usage. As for the other game modes, since Vala is one of the higher tiered light bearer unit in terms of power level, generally Vala will find some sort of use in the different game modes like Battle Drill as a damage dealer, Arcane Labyrinth as a key target sniper damage dealer, and obviously Labyrinth Trout, right? So that's her usage. And like I mentioned earlier, she's a unit that is good from the early to late game. So you can definitely pull a few copies of her, invest in her, and she'll be able to be used for a very long time. So that's that, right? She may not be the strongest, but she's definitely one of the units that will last for quite a while just because of how good she is in a really weak faction. So that's for Vala's case. But the next thing that I would like to answer is whether or not you should commit to Vala or should you go for the all-hero recruitment. So to answer this question, there's a few factors to consider: whether or not you're new to the game, whether or not you know what you want, you know what you're doing, and whether or not you're gonna spend more, you're gonna commit more resources to do more pulls, right? So strictly from a free-to-play player's perspective, I'll say Vala is not worth it. So let me explain why from a free-to-play player's perspective she's not worth it. So number one, the cost of doing 10 summons for the raid up banner is 3,000. So that's 300 per pool. And the cost of summoning for all hero recruitment for 10 summons is only 2,700. So the cost, oh my god, I actually summoned here, but anyway, it's fine. So the cost that you take to summon every 10 summons, right? Oh wow, I actually oh wow, I actually got torrent. Hey, but anyway, it's in my main account. It's just a random summon that I clicked on. Okay, but anyway, just a bit of distraction here. Okay, so the cost of since I have the summons done, I can show the cost. So the cost is 2,700 gems every 10 summons compared to 3,000 gems every 10 summons. So every 100 gems you do over here, you can do one more summon in the all hero recruitment. So just off the basic gem value, like all hero recruitment is just more friendly for the free-to-play players. And at the same time, as a free-to-play player, I think you kind of want more versatility rather than having a strong DPS character. So going for all hero recruitment not only gives you S level character, but a much higher percentage in A level characters as well. So it's like double the raid up. So the only advantage that the raid up have over the all hero is that whenever you secure an S level character, is the guaranteed raid up hero. So that's the only advantage. But if you compare to any other factor, the cost of summoning, the overall things you will get, I think the all unit recruitment is much better for the free-to-play players. Heck, even the players that just start off the game. Because if you just start off the game, you don't really know the game really well, so you don't know which unit you want to use for like specific content, right? And if you commit into Vala and then you realize that hey, she's not the one, then you're pretty much stuck. But if you go for the all hero, you got a lot of choice, right? If you can get a lot of duplicates for A levels, you're gonna upgrade all of them together, and then suddenly you have a choice. Like if you don't want to use Arden, maybe you can use Sylvina. Don't use Sylvina, you can use Merrily, so on and so forth. So that's the advantage of this all hero recruitment from a free to play or somebody who is low spender, for example. Like in terms of efficiency, in terms of how much gems you will commit, this is better. But there's another caveat, that is, if let's say you have like different units for different teams, you know what you're doing and you know that you want Vala in a specific game mode that you want to excel at, right? There's a build you want to try and you know Vala will work there, then going for this raid up is definitely better, because Vala is currently not in the all hero recruitment. That's number one. Number two, it's also because the raid up hero is basically guaranteed. So if you know what you're doing, you know you want to commit to her, then yeah, she's definitely a good unit. And if you're somebody who spends a lot, if you're a massive whale and you will enjoy arena a lot, I think Vala is definitely worth it. Just go for her. Like once you get your 400 summons to unlock Stargaze, then you can spend all your resources to get raid up, and there's also a limited chance on how many Valas you can get anyway. So just spend as much as you can commit, right? Just spend as much as you can spend. Be a healthy spender, don't overspend. So that's my take for Vala. Generally not a must-have. If there's a unit or there's a few units you want to save for the specific unit banner, I can safely say Torrent is definitely number one, right? Second one will be this unit known as Iron. So these two units, they're really good, but today's show is not about them, and I honestly don't encourage you guys to over save, because this banner period still has 20 other days. 20 days is enough to change out the progression by a lot. So you kind of want to just spend enough to push through contents first, and then keep a little bit in your stash to see which unit comes around in the next raid up banner. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Just my simple opinion. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more AFK journey contents from the channel, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.